21 minutes before we say goodbye here on Morning Live, two countries will team up in the spoken word this month from today until the end of February. Poets participating in the very first Sweden-South Africa Poetry Exchange Program will not only share various stages in Gauteng, but also knowledge and best practices. With us now is Henry Bowers from Sweden, and he'll tell us more about this initiative. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'm not even going to say welcome to South Africa because you've been here in other programs before, isn't it?
Yes, I've been here several times, but mainly in Durban, but also once here in Johannesburg.
In Johannesburg. Yeah. But this exchange program, is it the first one of its own, or have we had such before?
I've been involved with other exchange programs before, with the Poetry Africa Festival and such, and my own festival that I work with back home in Sweden called Ordspråk. We've been doing different exchanges, but this is the first one with this organization.
Yeah. All right. So how did it come about, especially one where poetry is exchanged?
It was initialized by poets from Pretoria contacting one of my colleagues who is also on the trip, looking for poets for an exchange, and then he contacted my fellow organizer of the festival in my hometown, and
the brains were put together, and that's how it happened. Yeah, and cultural exchange programs are sort of ways of bringing different worlds together, as I said. How effective, though, is the use of poetry to do this?
I think it's the spoken word is very direct and powerful, and I mean all forms of art are basically good means to meet other people, but like the spoken word is very direct and very effective, I think.
Yeah. But in terms of the difference, talk to us about poetry in Sweden and poetry in South Africa. Have you spotted the difference, maybe in terms of style, in terms of articulation, in terms of a whole range of issues, including subject matters?
Yeah, I guess I've seen. I know the Swedish scene a lot better than the South African, of course, but and the Swedish poetry styles have gone through changes over the time that I've been active in the business. But I think there's a tendency in Sweden to be a little bit more, a little lighter, and a little bit more humor. You don't want to get too serious, because and I guess that's could be because the issues are not that prominent. For example, if you compare to South Africa, so over here I feel people are more like eager to really express the seriousness of a situation.
The historical backgrounds as well, I believe it's contributing.
Yeah.
Now, when did you fall in love with poetry? How did it come about? Has it always been there from your early age?
Yeah, it's through hip-hop music. I started listening to Public Enemy and when I was like 10 years old and started to understand English. And through Public Enemy, because Chuck D, the lead vocalist in Public Enemy, in interviews he spoke about his inspiration when he was growing up, and that was like poets like Gil Scott-Heron and the Watts Prophet, and so I got curious, what is this stuff?
Yeah.
So I started looking into it, and then that's how I got into poetry, basically.
All right, so do you also sing hip-hop?
Yeah, I do hip-hop music as well.
Are you able to throw some few lines for us?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Old Martha's candy shop was round the corner from our house, and every Saturday we went there spending all of our allowance. A cozy little place, nothing matches the feeling of being 8 years old and seeing candy stacked to the ceiling. But the world is not fair, neither was it back then, because some kids have always had more than others to spend.
Oh yeah, my man, yeah. Now, Henry, what can South Africans audiences look forward to that's so unique with the specific Swedish performance and perhaps collaborations?
I guess just getting to know different people through artistic expression is a great experience. And we are 3 poets from Sweden here right now, and we're all quite different in our styles, and we just like can't wait to.
And how has the experience of being here been?
So far, we got here late last night, so far it's just been sleeping.
Yeah.
But my experience from past visits has been like really enriching, and I get a perspective on life at whole, and a perspective of my own situation back home, because I can compare it to other situations. And yeah, it's a humbling experience.
Are there any hip-hop artists from South Africa that you would perhaps in the future love to collaborate with?
Yeah, I haven't really. I used to. Proverb was one that I got a CD with on a past visit here, and I really love that one. And but I haven't really got a good knowledge of the South African hip hop scene, but I would love to know more of it. But Proverb is that album is awesome.
Yeah, no, he's one of our best here in South Africa. So now this will end at the end of February.
Yep.
Program.
Yep.
All right. What does it entail quickly?
What
does it have in it? What's going to be happening from today until the end of February?
We're going to do different performances, mainly in Pretoria, but also in Soweto, and we're going to do workshops and panel discussions about poetry, and so different poets are going to do different workshops, which is going to be one of my favorite part of the exchange, because you get to sort of a look into the creative process of different poets, because all poets write in different ways, I guess. So it's the more you hear people talking about their writing and the way they write, the more tools you get yourself.
All right. We'll leave it at that. All the best with the program. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you very much.
Is there one South African word that you have learned? Because you'll be going to Soweto.
I've learned Njebe.
What does it mean?
Wasn't something? Njebe.
Oh, that.
Yeah. Sorry for my bad pronunciation. But
thank you so much, Henry. As I said, all the best with the program.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Okay, don't miss the first Sweden South Africa Poetry Exchange program, and thank you so much to Henry Bowers, who was chatting to us about this beautiful initiative. We're taking a quick